world being run by satanic forces using money as a medium. Okay? It's Satan's ambrosia. Without money, he'd be feckless. You understand? He'd lose all his power, be rendered irrelevant. You think he wants that? To shrivel up and blow away in the wind? No. You understand the forces that are fighting us? So if you're in your right mind, you kind of hate your life in this world. And people are going to think of you as, wow, there's something wrong. That guy's got something wrong with him. He's always complaining and whining about things, and not just letting things get worse and worse, and accepting more and more tyranny, and accepting the hamster wheel getting harder and harder to turn. Even if it's getting easier for him, he's got plenty of grease to grease it. He shouldn't worry about all those stupid other people. They're weak. Let them get with the program and get busy on that hamster wheel, man. It's getting harder. Well, you just figure out a way to turn it, man. That's it. It's getting harder and harder. Don't ask me where it's going to end. We're going into this fog bank at 100 miles an hour, and we're trusting these people, and they're all freaks and psychopathic, genocidal murderers, and it's okay. Don't worry about a thing. This is what's prudent. This is pragmatic. This is practical. This is what they teach in the colleges and universities. It means you're a success, and everybody wants to be a success, surely. Then you got to conform and comply to this current establishment, this beast system. So get with the program. Like I'm the crazy one. I mean, you understand, but do I hear Dr. Phil trying to educate the public about these things? The drivers of the mental illness and the stressors in society. And is there any fixes? Are there solutions? And the forces that are opposed to solutions, and explaining this to people in a very cogent, coherent manner, like an intellectual human being like himself can do. I like Dr. Phil. I think he believes in God, but why doesn't he help tell that to other people and say, this is how it helps me cope and contend. I pray, and I'm a believer, and I don't know if he does. I don't know. I don't hear him. I've watched the show snippets. I don't hear him get into it. Bringing the God card into the issue and help people understand this crazy world they live in. It doesn't resemble anything that God would have for us. God didn't invent money. This isn't his plan. This is a scheme, a scam to rob from people, to have power and control. Okay? So I'm trying to help people understand these issues and empower them to, and help other people understand, empower them, and just it's got to spread. This is God's will being done. It's like leaven being worked through the dough. It's the Spirit, the Holy Spirit of God is coming. And this is a tangible, real way, and you can evidence it in your own life and to people in your life, your family, friends, strangers, whoever you get a chance to meet and talk to. Do it in a way that's palatable, so it's not arrogant, like that stigmat I brought up. Yeah, I think if you're not a little mentally ill in this world, there's really something wrong with you. But, you've got to keep it in check. It's sort of like having, your boundaries, your limits. Having a governor in your conscience and saying, hey, no, wait, I'm not doing that. I mean, I fall headlong into some stupid, foolish folly to dissipate time, feel like I own my reality a little bit, like sucking off a pseudo teat. Yeah, I'm just like everybody else. I get it. Comfort food, etc., and comfort this, comfort that, comfort vice, comfort escapism. I got it. I do it. I imbibe. And yeah, and thank God, God understands when I myself think, what an idiot, what kind of a low life, are you, that you would do this, think that, whatever, engage in this behavior for free. And it's like, what is it, better to pay for it or, get paid for it? You know what I mean? It's like sin is the nature of sin is just insanity anyhow. But, there's, having limits and boundaries is very important to the righteous. And, we should cherish that and just thank God every day we have those limits, that governor that keeps us from doing anything really. I mean, can you imagine the crap people have to live with in life? I mean, that they've done for, money. The vast majority of the crimes are committed because of money. And I think law enforcement, most of them are very good, decent people by and large. I had an uncle, one of my mom's brothers, Johnny, he was a cop down in Pacific Grove, Johnny Restovich. And in fact, her other brother, George, she had two other sisters, Frances and Anna. My mom's name was Mary. But George, Shreveport, Louisiana, very nice guy. He had a couple of sons, and they both went into the FBI together, a buddy system or something, I heard. And you don't hear from many. And once they get high up the ladder in law enforcement, you hear from them. But then they went from there into the Secret Service, from what I heard. It's family rumor type thing. And I got a daughter that's talking about getting into law enforcement. Hey, great. I could probably do it. I mean, a forensic detective, but I have a hard time around violence and bloodshed and all this. So maybe I'm not cut out for it, but I don't have the constitution for it. But it's important. These jobs are important. But I think the vast majority of law enforcement are intelligent people. They're good, decent, upright people, akin to like angels in our society, to protect and serve and all that. People that are willing to die in your stead. It's a pretty beautiful thing. It's a very godly trait that law enforcement has. So these people say, hey, if crime plummeted tomorrow, right on. If the Highway Patrol said, hey, people stop crashing their cars, right on. I'll find a new career. I'll find another job. You see, that's a beautiful thing. But I don't see that for everybody in society. You understand? There's a whole lot of jobs, and people in the financial services industry, some 25% of people are employed in that in some capacity. If the national debt ever went away, if they couldn't put people in debt, that's their bread and butter. They'd be out of job. So I don't want to be overly cynical and say, well, they couldn't find out. They could. Everybody could. If we're doing useful things, friends, we'd be working, 2, 3, 4, 5 hours a week if we're lucky. Okay, so we're going to have a lot of time on our hands and need to find stuff to do together and have fun, recreate. Then you got the dubious war industry. I mean, come on, we'll find something else. These soldiers are good, decent people. They don't want to go out there and kill. They think they believe in the cause. They want to do it. So all that stuff goes away. And then the social welfare industry. And some of these are the best people we have. The cream of the crop. They care about the social welfare of the public. So they get into these jobs, social workers and stuff. And they'll find other jobs. I mean, it doesn't even matter. We won't care. Our money's worth so much. We've all got so much of it. All of a sudden, it's irrelevant. We don't care. We're all prosperous and secure and free and living together in peace and harmony. That's the reality we could have in short order if we just get it. And God, believe me, He wants us to get it. Yesterday, I met with an insurance agent, and I'm inquiring about getting a little business started, just being an entrepreneur in another avenue of my life. And this guy, he really looked good. Big guy, about 6'3", I'd say. Looked like he was in his 30s, real well built. He's got, we talked a little bit, very open, very, very genuine guy. That's not even a word, genuine, but I guess the term is, he seemed like a really honest, down-to-earth character. But it was interesting to meet him, very professional guy. But we talked about, he's got these 3 teenage daughters, and, we're talking about our daughters. Like I told him I had 2 daughters in their 30s. And so, I guess I bring this up because it was a very pleasant experience. I mean, if you ever meet those people that right away you feel like you like them, they let you know where they're coming from and they're real. Like, I don't know, there's just something about certain people. When I sense that they're all in the up and up, they're real, they've got integrity, they're honorable characters, and I like those kind of people. I really do. And I don't know. You don't meet that kind of people that often. And it was just a pleasant experience meeting with this guy, and I just thought I'd bring it up. Yeah, there's a very important nature, imperative nature, in fact, of understanding the devil, what I call devolution of words. If we're going to understand history, we've got to understand how words have devolved. Okay, so I call it devolution. It's intentional to make you not understand, because when you don't understand history, you're doomed to repeat it. Knowledge is power, right? So anti-knowledge, if you don't understand because the words have evolved, you say, I thought I understood that word anti, and I don't understand it. Wow, it means a substitute or a stand-in. It doesn't mean opposite or opposed or against like I thought it meant. Yeah, it changes everything. So it's important to understand simple little terms like that when it comes to, learning the term antichrist, for example, and how Jesus referred to that. There are many antichrists. It's a substitute for Christ. Okay, there's phonies that come in. So people don't think they think opposed or against, but, so we don't see who the epitome, the figurehead of the Antichrist would be in this world. That would be the Pope. You think they want you to know that? You think you're empowered with the truth? But when you see it as a substitute, a stand-in, not necessarily against or opposed to Christ, it looks entirely different. You understand? It's not so controversial. All right, my friends, I got to wrap it up. I'll get through a thought or two here in the last minute I got on this tape. But imagination is the beginning of manifestation. And just remember, anything at all you can imagine, you can make manifest. Maybe not on your own, but with other people. So have fun with that. One of my favorite pastimes is just simply thinking. I absolutely just love thinking. For the destitutely poor in America, the, quote, Great Depression is still very real, remembering that human beings are inextricably interconnected by proclamation of the Most High God Almighty. Is this the reality you are willing to accept for yourself and your children?